Good evening, brave souls. Tonight we shall explore the eerie and enigmatic world of cryptids with two bone-chilling tales that will leave you questioning the shadows around you. Our first story takes us deep into the heart of Japan's mystical Arashiyama forest, where an encounter with something is so mysterious it blurs the lines between reality and folklore. In our second tale, we unravel the haunting experience of a lone driver on a desolate road, where you'll discover true turmoil within their heart. From unsettling encounters to the depths of personal fear and desire, these stories will grip you and keep you on the edge of your seat. So, sit back, dim the lights, and prepare to be captivated by these terrifying cryptid encounters.
Story 1: The Enigmatic Fox. I was hiking through the serene and ancient woods of Arashiyama, Japan, a place where nature's beauty effortlessly merges with the whispers of old legends. This trip was meant to be a peaceful escape, a chance to heal and find clarity after the turbulent breakup with Alex. I needed space to process the confusion swirling inside me, especially now that Max had entered my life, bringing with him a whirlwind of unexpected emotions. The relationship with Alex had left me shattered, my heart a chaotic mess of unspoken words and unresolved feelings. Max appeared during this vulnerable phase, initially as a comforting presence. We met through mutual friends at a bar during happy hour, and our connection was immediate, yet understated. It was as if he understood the fragmented pieces of my heart without me having to say a word. We became fast friends, hanging out more frequently, and before I knew it, I found myself falling for him. It was confusing, this mix of lingering heartbreak and budding affection. One night, after a few drinks, we had an intense makeout session. I felt like an emo kid again, lost in a haze of music and emotion, every song I listened to amplifying my feelings. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. With these thoughts swirling in my mind, I wandered deeper into the forest, seeking solace. The dense foliage and the quiet rustle of leaves provided a comforting embrace. That's when I encountered him, an old man with a long white beard, carrying a staff, dressed in coarse blue robes that seemed to belong to another era. "Follow me," he said, his voice a gentle yet commanding whisper. Intrigued and more curious than cautious, I obeyed. As we walked, he spoke about the beauty of nature, the importance of respecting and protecting it. His words were mesmerizing, drawing me in deeper into the forest and into my own thoughts. Max and I had been spending a lot of time together, and I couldn't help but think about the way he made me feel. It was as if he saw me, truly saw me, and it was both exhilarating and terrifying. I was scared of getting hurt again, scared of the intensity of my feelings. But with him, it felt different. He brought a sense of calm and excitement, a blend I hadn't felt in a long time. The old man didn't speak of himself or ask about me. He was like a guide, leading me through my thoughts as much as through the forest. After a while, he stopped and pointed to a narrow, winding trail. "Take this path back to the city," he instructed, "when you are ready." I watched him disappear into the forest, leaving me alone with my thoughts. The sun was setting, casting long shadows and turning the sky into a canvas of deep oranges and purples. I started down the trail he had shown me, feeling an odd mix of clarity and confusion. As I walked, the trail seemed to vanish, leaving me lost. Panic set in, but then I saw it, a white fox, its eyes gleaming with an almost human intelligence. It watched me, and for a moment, I felt a strange connection. The fox seemed amused, as if it knew something I didn't. When I shone my flashlight on it, the fox darted away into the bushes, leaving me standing alone in the dim light. The encounter with the fox felt surreal, like a scene from a dream. I remembered stories of the kitsune, the mythical fox spirits of Japanese folklore known for their shape-shifting abilities and wisdom. Was it possible that I had encountered one? The thought sent a shiver down my spine, yet also brought a strange sense of peace. I eventually found my way back to the main trail and returned to the city. The experience lingered in my mind, intertwining with my feelings for Max. I realized that just like the mysterious fox, Max had appeared in my life unexpectedly, guiding me through my emotional wilderness. His presence was a reminder that even in the midst of confusion and uncertainty, there is beauty and clarity to be found. As I navigated my way through these new emotions, I held on to the lessons from the forest. Life is a journey filled with unexpected encounters and hidden paths. And sometimes the answers we seek come from the most unlikely of places. An old man in the woods, a fleeting fox, or a new friend who makes our heart race. Story 2, Red Eyes and Confessions. It was only a few weeks after my tumultuous breakup with Jojo that I found myself in the arms of Leo. The end of a decade-long relationship had left me hollow and searching for something to fill the void. Leo was the first person I had a sexual encounter with in my house after those 10 years of exclusivity with Jojo. It was raw, unexpected, and everything I needed to remind myself I was still alive. Months passed, and what began as random hookups evolved into something more complex. Leo asked me out one afternoon, and we ended up at a dimly lit bar, the kind of place where you could lose track of time and worries. Several drinks in, we were laughing like old friends. The night led us back to his place, where we continued our escapade, drinking and doing drugs, the room pulsing with the beats of Taylor Swift and Beck. Our connection grew deeper, and before I knew it, Leo invited me to a party at his house. He lived only a block away with his partner, Sam. I was nervous, self-conscious about how I'd fit in, but I was thrilled to be included. The party was a haze of laughter, music, and way too many drinks. In the midst of it all, I confided in some newfound friends about my feelings for Jamie, a married man who had become an unexpected focal point in my life. Their advice was varied, but Leo seemed particularly affected. As the night wore on, Leo and I slipped out, seeking more drinks and a more intense high. By the time we stumbled back to my place, something had shifted. Our encounters had always been passionate, but this time it felt different, more urgent, more connected. We were up all night, naked, our bodies entwined in a dance of raw emotion and desire. The next day, I was overwhelmed with guilt, not for the act itself, but for the confusion it brought. My thoughts were consumed by Jamie, and a nagging feeling that Leo's newfound intensity was a bid to keep me from drifting towards Jamie. My mind was a storm, echoes of Vanilla Sky haunting me. I couldn't shake the parallel. Leo as Cameron Diaz, fiercely passionate and possessive, and Jamie as Penelope Cruz, the object of my deeper affections. It was a thought that clung to me, unsettling and persistent. One evening, I decided to clear my head with a long drive. The rural roads around my town were the perfect escape, dark and winding, offering a solitude that the city couldn't. As I drove, the sky grew darker, and an eerie sense of calm settled over me. That's when I saw it. A figure on the side of the road, tall and shadowy, with piercing red eyes, that seemed to glow in the night. My heart pounded as I tried to rationalize what I was seeing. It must be a trick of the light, I told myself. But the fear was real. The figure followed me, always just at the edge of my vision. I sped up, my car racing down the desolate road, but the figure kept pace. It was like something out of a nightmare, and I couldn't shake the feeling that it was connected to everything happening in my life. The confusion with Jamie, the intensity with Leo, and my own spiraling emotions. I finally reached my home, my sanctuary, and rushed inside. But the encounter left me shaken. I couldn't help but think of the old tales of the Mothman, a harbinger of doom and a symbol of internal conflict. Was this my mind's way of manifesting the turmoil within me? Or was there truly something out there, something watching, waiting? In the following days, I couldn't escape the feeling of being watched. Every shadow seemed darker, every noise more sinister. I confided in Leo about my experience, hoping he would offer some comfort. Instead, his reaction was one of concern and a strange mixture of possessiveness. It was as if he sensed the depths of my confusion and used it to draw me closer. The figure in the night became a recurring presence in my dreams, always watching, always waiting. I realized that my encounter with Leo, the growing feelings for Jamie, and the haunting presence were all parts of a larger puzzle. My life was at a crossroads, and I needed to find clarity before I lost myself completely. In the end, the Mothman, real or imagined, became a symbol of my internal struggle, a reminder that sometimes the greatest horrors are the ones we create within ourselves. And as I navigated the tangled web of my emotions, I knew that the answers lay not in the shadows, but in facing the truths I had been avoiding for so long.